Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 3. Count by fives and ones on the number line as a strategy to tell time to the nearest minute on the clock. Let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, plot points on the number line for each time shown on a clock below. Then, draw lines to match the clocks to the points. Let's look at this first picture. I notice that the hour hand is between the 4 and the 5. That means it hasn't reached 5 o'clock yet. It's 4 o'clock. And now let's look at the minutes. I'm counting by fives every time I hit a number on the clock, starting at 0 at 12. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then if I count the minutes, I see that there are 4 minutes. So it goes 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So this is 4:35. Now I'm going to look at my number line and plot the point where 4:34 is on the number line. So here we have 4 o'clock, and I'm going to go 34 minutes. I can actually count by tens, 10, 20, 30, and then add on 4 more minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4:34 is right here, 1 minute before 4:35. So I'm going to draw a line from 4:34 to 4 to the dot that's on the line. Now, let's do the second clock. This is a digital clock. It says 4:01. So I look at 4 o'clock and I go 1 minute past 4. So I'm going to put that dot right there at 4:01, and I'm going to draw a line from 4:01 to the digital clock. Continue using these strategies to help you with the last clocks. Let's look at problem number 2. Problem 2 says Julie eats dinner at 6:07 p.m. Draw hands on the clock below to show what time Julie eats dinner. Well, I know that 6:07 is just 7 minutes past 6. So when I draw the hour hand, I'm going to put my shorter hour hand just past the 6. The minutes at 6:07 say 7 minutes, so I know that if I start here and I count by fives, I start here at 0 and I count by fives, this would be 5 minutes. And then I add on 2 more to get 7, so 5, 6, 7, right here. So now I'll draw my minute hand a little bit longer than my hour hand to where the 7 minutes is. Follow the same procedure for completing number 3. Remember, look for the hour hand and think about the minutes and where they would be on the clock. Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 3. Count by fives and ones on the number line as a strategy to tell time to the nearest minute on the clock. Let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, plot points on the number line for each time shown on a clock below. Then, draw lines to match the clocks to the points. Let's look at the first clock. I notice here that the time is 4:34. So I am going to plot this time on the number line. Here's 4 o'clock. I am going to count by fives until I get to 30. So 4:05, 4:05, 4:10, 4:15, 4:20. Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 3. Count by fives and ones on the number line as a strategy to tell time to the nearest minute on the clock. Let's look at number 1. Number 1 says plot points on the number line for each time shown on a clock below. Then draw lines to match the clocks to the points. If I look at the first clock, I notice that the hour hand is before the 4 and the 5. That means it will be 4 o'clock. Now, if I look at the minute hand and I start counting by 5, starting at 12, 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then I count the minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can see that this clock is at 4:34. Now, I'm going to plot that time on my number line. So I'm going to start here at 4 o'clock. And I'm going to count by fives until I get to 34. Count by fives and ones until I get to 34. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and now I'm going to count by ones, 31, 32, 33, 34. And I can plot 34 right here, 434. Now it tells me to draw a line to match the clocks to the points. So I'm going to draw a line to that point. Now I've plotted a point and I've drawn a line from 434 on the clock all the way to the number line. Now I have 4:01. So again, I start at 4 o'clock and now I'm going to be going to 1 minute after 4. So I won't be counting by fives, I'll be counting by ones. So 4 o'clock, 4:01. I'm going to plot the point at 4:01. And again, I'm going to draw a line from the digital clock to the number line. Now we have another analog clock. And I can see that the hour is at 4, hour hand's at 4, and now I'm going to count the minutes starting at 12:00. 5, 10, 15, and it looks like it's 1 minute past the 15, so that would make it 4:16. And I'm going to draw a line, I'm going to plot that time on the number line. So here's 4, start by counting by fives, 4:05, 4:10, 4:15, and 4:16 would be right here. So I'll draw a line connecting the clock to the line I plotted on the number line. Continue doing this strategy to work the last analog clock. Now, let's look at problem number 2. It says, Julie eats dinner at 6:07 p.m. Draw hands on the clock below to show what time Julie eats dinner. I'm going to circle that time so I won't forget it. It's 6:07. I know that 6 is the hour. So I'm going to use my shorthand to put it close to the 6 to show that it's 6 o'clock. And then it says 07 is the minutes. So I'm going to start here at 0, and I'm going to count by fives till I get to, and ones till I get to 7. Remember that each number on the clock represents 5-minute intervals. So we'll start here and we'll count by fives. 5, and now I'm going to add 2 more to get to 7. So 1, 2. And I'll use my pencil to mark that 7 minutes. So now I've shown the time as 6:07. Let's go on to problem 3. It says PE starts at 1:32 p.m. Draw hands on the clock below to show what time PE starts. So I'll circle that time so I don't forget it. And I notice that the hour is 1, so I'm going to draw my shorter hand between the 1 and the 2. Because I also notice that it says 32 p.m., which means that it's half past 1 o'clock. So my hour hand should be halfway between my 1 and my 2. Now let's look at the minutes. The minutes say 32. Again, I'm going to count by fives and ones till I get to 32, starting here at 12. And each time I count by fives, I'll land on a number. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm getting close to 32, so now I'm going to count by ones. 31, 32. And I'm going to use my longer hand to reach out to 32 on the clock.